Do you remember who started the last rock, paper, scissors? Was it me?
I think it was me.
I know you lost.
I think you should go because one, the audacity of you with that statement. And then the second thing is that it seems like the people who start, maybe you lose. And
Okay, I see what you're saying.
In a row. So,
Okay.
your turn.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Rock,
Rock.
paper, scissors, shoot. What was that, Meg?
Listen here, Allison.
Yeah. Ready?
No.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. That's Megan, would you go ahead and tell the audience what we're doing here today?
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Rated MA. I'm Meg. She's Allie. And today we're going to be continuing our Andor Season 1 watch of Episode 6. And that is called The Eye. And I did remember the episode name this time.
I told her off screen, but it's okay.
Whatever happens before we hit record, Allison, does not happen.
Especially today. Oh, God.
Allie was full on about to crash out. So
there was a lot of cursing. A few tears were shed. My dad had to come help me with some shit. It's fine.
Everything is fine.
So Allie and I will be taking notes throughout the episodes. If you see us looking down, we have notebooks and we will be discussing whatever we write down at the end of the episode. So if you would like to stay and watch our discussion, feel free. We would love that. But yeah, I think that's about it. Allie, do you have anything to add?
Nope, just that this is one of my favorite episodes in this entire show. This and episode 10 are two of my absolute favorites. I will be absolutely annoying the entire episode talking about how gorgeous and beautiful it is. Sorry, you've been warned. But yeah, I think without any further ado, let's get into the episode.
Yeah, let's go. Look at him in his coat.
Need his fit expeditiously. Hey, audience, if you're curious, I'm eating a muffy. So if you see me eating shit throughout this episode, that's what it is.
I write when I can't sleep. Wrote a book last night. Not you, specifically, not Clem. The role of mercenaries in the galactic struggle for freedom. My conclusion is simple. Weapons are tools. Those that use them are, by extension, functional assets that we must use to our best advantage. The Empire has no moral boundaries. Why should we not take hold of every chance we can?
Do you think they take turns washing dishes?
I do, actually. I think they have chores that they rotate on a schedule.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so.
Careful what you wish for.
So you think it's hopeless, do you? Freedom, independence, justice. We should just submit and be thankful. And I'm glad that you're here. No matter what the reason.
Don't worry. You'll be fine.
We found the best way to steer them as we'd like is to offer alternatives.
So I don't know if you remember this, but in a previous episode, the dark-skinned man, I can't remember his name. He's the one that's the spy working for Cassian and all them. He said that last year there had been 100. So this population of Aldani is dwindling because they just said there's 60, I think, that they counted.
People are horrible.
Yeah, they fucking suck.
You've been here the longest, haven't you, Lieutenant?
Yes, sir. 7 years.
Will the Darners let us build our new facility in peace?
Quite the celestial.
So if you notice, their colors of it's different. Do you think it's like kind of like how military has their own stars, where it's like
Yes. Different? I think so. I wish I knew. I'm sure there's someone out there who does know. I myself do not. But this guy with the white beard is the big boss, and we know that. Let me check my notes for this guy's name. But we know that he's a lieutenant if you're British.
His are orange, which is also very interesting because he is a spy, but also it's the same colors as like Caspian and stuff. It's just really interesting and how the colors just work.
Yeah, his name is Gorn, by the way, Lieutenant Gorn.
Valley 1, Valley 1, Valley 1, go, Valley 1, Valley 1, Valley 1.
So I'm curious if they're trying to wipe out all of these people, but they've flown over them now, what, twice?
Here's the thing. This is an analogy, I believe, for the Trail of Tears. the plight of Native Americans in the United States and in North America, in that there was a population that lived here previously. New settlers came in and then over time steadily forced them out and forced
Yeah.
them away and killed them over time. It's exactly what happened to Native Americans and to the tribal communities that lived here before British settlers came in the 14 and 1500s. And so with the Aldani, they're not trying to kill them because that would be genocide. They're just making them leave and dwindling their population and taking their resources. They're killing them slowly.
Pieces of shit.
Go in here. Go ahead.
Low road unit reporting, sir. The guests are arriving. Let's have a peaceful welcome.
I would watch an entire series about the Aldani people. I find them fascinating.
I don't know a ton about them, but it's really interesting.
I don't believe they speak basic. Because I think when we hear them, they're speaking a different language.
Do not engage. We meet soldiers from the garrison. We're from Alkenzi. Hey, here comes another one. Escort, march!
Roboda.
Undressing Leonard.
None of this was stored properly. It's all compressed.
Perhaps you've expanded.
He gagged his ass.
You'll do as you're told.
Squad, halt! Snowfrang, Gwali Bdocher. Let them pass.
Love a spy.
Let's go.
Nemec.
I love him.
Corporal, right turn. With me.
Walked right fucking in. Exactly how Cassian told Luthen. They never expect to see someone in their midst.
Mm-mm.
Cool shot. Cool shot. Cool shot.
Yeah. We just have like a buzzer every time.
She checked in? Not yet. Problem? She'll be there.
That's your excuse.
This shit had me so stressed out the first time I watched it.
Don't let Gorn catch you.
Attention! Corporal? Sir.
You know, I think this is the only outfit I have found Cassian unattractive in.
How dare you? He's beautiful in everything he wears.
He is beautiful, but just, I don't know, I think it's the tie.
Where is she? We're late.
No, they're shutting down right now. Everything's grounded.
I love the framing of that shot.
I talked about this in another episode about how I love when a frame shows us what's happening in the background, but the characters don't notice it. I still love it. Still looks amazing every time.
It's so smart. It's so smart and it looks good and it's just all around a great choice.
It's very creative. It's not something that's utilized like all the time, but when it is, it can be really powerful or it can be really funny. It's just
solid.
Good.
It can work in pretty much every genre.
Yeah.
Echo 1. Echo 1. Echo 1.
Girl, answer the
Valley 1.
There we
Valley 1 it go.
Girl's about to shit her pants.
She doesn't believe they can win.
Now. Go. We go.
Ghosts have strong hands and long memories is a baller line.
I find the good in all of us.
Cool.
So
Fuck
that
your
was
offering of peace.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, wasn't that their peace offering?
It was. It was bullshit, and they know
really
it.
was.
That's why they burnt it.
Honestly, love the Aldanians. They know what's up.
Down the road. I want no one up here without my permission.
The days of passing skins and ritual nonsense will be soon behind us. No great loss there. It's not as if there's much Aldani civilization.
Ever since I was celebrating recently, I've noticed that in so many shows now they use a vignette, and I'm just
What?
like,
They use what?
yeah,
What did you say?
a vignette.
Oh, a vignette. I thought you said a cool jet. And I was like, what?
Yeah, they use a cool jet in like so many shows.
A vignette, yes.
Yes.
Let the boy go!
Nobody has to die.
Hey, queens. Missed you.
Everything all right, sir?
All good. You'll never get out of here.
Smack the fuck out of him.
He deserved that so much.
Yeah. That lens flare was gorgeous.
It was.
That's beautiful.
Didn't you hear me? I don't control the vault. It's on a code from the air.
Do you remember what happens to this guy? Because I do.
No, I don't actually. I think this is one of the times I fell asleep.
How do you fall asleep during this episode?
Listen, I worked like 12 hours that day.
One voice, we win, or everyone dies. Starts now.
Oh.
Calm jammer. My heart is racing. I wish I had my watch on to monitor my heart rate. My heart is racing right now.
If you don't help us, your family will die.
You'll kill us anyway.
That's what you do, right?
I love that she said that. He says, "You're going to kill us anyway." She says, "Oh, well, that's what you would do, right?" I love that.
You having trouble with your comms? It just went down. The Alkenzi line is still open, but everything else is fucked.
Bell, take him.
Move.
With me.
She's so funny.
You are gonna load us down as fast as possible.
Anyone doesn't want to hustle for the next 10 minutes? Raise your hand. Howard?
Yeah, I do indeed.
I can't unlock the trace. It takes a signal from Alkenzi.
Get with the others.
I only control the gate. They won't open. Fire in the hole.
And there we go.
Go. I'm almost done. I'll be right behind you.
I have a bad feeling about that. Oh no.
Get ready. Alkenzi should be calling in soon.
Will do. Sally one out.
Making him go to work. As they should. He's probably not lifted a finger in his life. Wow.
For some reason, I don't remember ever seeing a flashlight in Star Wars. I know there has been one, but that just startled me so bad.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Luke uses one in, like, Empire, but I just don't remember. It's been a while.
How much are they wanting to take?
As much as they can get, I think.
Yeah. Wow.
The first time I saw this, there were genuine tears in my eyes. To this day, I think this is one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen in television or in film.
Afraid you'd be leaving. We need to be locking up.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
You. Quit talking and get pushing.
You'll hang for this.
7 years serving you. I deserve worse than that.
Look at the ties. This is so cool. Oh, I want to eat this shot. I want to eat it.
You know, even in all of my years of film school, I never heard that once. Nemic's not gonna make it out alive, is he?
Sorry, sir, but
This is a classified mission and you're not cleared to be here.
Commandant?
Tell him, sir. Tell him he needs to leave.
Uh-oh.
Sir? I am giving you a direct order, Corporal.
What is going on here?
Sir,
Yeah, that guy dies of a heart attack, by the way. Rip Lieutenant Gorn.
Oh.
Oof, that was a good shot. So was that. Hot.
cover me!
I forgot about that guy.
My prediction is that everyone's gonna get on and Nemic's gonna be there and he's gonna be injured and he's gonna be like, I'm dying. And you have to say goodbye to him.
Ow.
Oh.
Didn't cover him. Thank you, Nemec.
Nemec? Nemec?
Here come the ties. I'm starting to sweat.
Oh.
It makes me want to throw up every time I hear the crunch of his bones. My heart rate has got to be like 120 right now.
Nemec, I knew he wasn't gonna get out of this.
I need a flight path. Alright, hold on.
Keep him still.
Oh, that was gorgeous, though. Seeing the TIE fighters go through the eye.
It was so fucking cool.
Whoa.
Climb! Move! Climb! Now! Did you give in? I don't have the speed to make it, and now you want me to climb? Climb! Dive!
Nice.
Look at that shot.
It's so pretty.
I'm actually tearing up right now. I'm so serious. It's like one of the prettiest things I think I've ever seen in film and TV. It's absolutely gorgeous.
I wish that existed like exactly like that in real life.
I know. And you want to know how I know that was a good scene? We were silent for like 5 straight minutes.
Yeah, honestly.
This kid is the reason that we are here. He is alive. How do we get to the doctor?
Oh.
Okay, this is fucking cool as shit.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it reminds me of Maz Kanata a little bit.
Yeah.
You want to guess how much is in there? $80 million, give or take.
That's a lot of credits.
Between the two of us, we could be the winners here.
It's no rebellion for you. Your brother with the orchard?
I don't have a brother.
Leave them here.
Don't play the high mind with me. You're not here to save anybody but yourself. I saw the first minute you came into camp. You're just like me. We were born in the hole, and all we know is climbing over somebody else to get out. Put that thing down, catch our breath, Split up the winnings. So this will...
Attaboy, Cass. I remembered that happened too, by the way. I was just keeping quiet about it.
I was taking a note, and all I hear is a blaster go off, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah, he killed Skeen. He shot him in the face.
I mean,
So the only survivors of this mission are Vel, Cinta, and Cassian. Everyone else died.
I did everything I could.
It's not you, Doc.
And it's not what you think either.
Skeen! Skeen!
He's dead. And to take the money and leave you here.
He wouldn't do that.
he would.
Think about that.
You're gonna have to think about that. I love him.
Karamin warned me.
Return this to your friend.
Nemic's manifesto.
He said to give this to you.
I don't want it.
He insisted.
Oh, is this Coruscant? It is.
Hey.
Don't get comfortable. This is not a meeting. I want every star sector and planetary emergency retaliation plan in the building ready for presentation by midnight.
This is a boot to the throats of all Gormans, who've done nothing more than request their basic rights.
Got anything from Aldani?
Excuse me?
Aldani. Big rebel attack last night. It's all the news.
Nice.
Good ending. That was a good ending.
That was The Eye, episode 6 of Andor season 1. What'd you think, Meg?
So good.
It's so fucking good.
I can see why you're like, yeah, this is like my one of 2 favorite episodes out of this whole series. Absolutely can see why.
This is my number 2. One Way Out is my favorite, but this is still a pretty fucking good episode.
Really good. And The Eye, gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
So what did you think, Allie?
I mean, it's pretty easy to say. This is one of my favorite episodes of the whole show. It is stunning. It's gorgeous. It's tense. And it's, I remember watching it for the first time. And it was me, myself, and 2 of our mutual friends when we were watching it. And there was a point where I was like, oh, none of us are breathing. We're all just like really tensely, like just watching the show so avidly because we were so hooked on the stakes. Like the stakes had never been higher in Star Wars apart from Rogue One and apart from Luke blowing up the Death Star. I think there are no higher stakes than this moment of, if we get this money, we save the rebellion. And if we fail, not only do we die, but the rebellion dies with us. The stakes are high. It's so tense. The action is so good. It's shocking and surprising. It's just good. It's just good TV.
It is good TV. I would say this is probably, gonna be honest, one of the best shows in a little while. I mean, other good shows have come out since Andor, but I will say there was kind of like a little drier period for a little while. So I would say this is probably like one of the shows whenever it was starting to come back, which is really nice. So I actually have a good amount of notes.
Which is funny because I
Okay.
took the least amount of notes. I don't even have a full page worth of notes. And a lot of it were just like points that I wanted to talk about. But I would be more than happy if you want to lead the notes section here today.
Sure. Okay. So
I really hope my mic picked that up. It got on my neck. Read your fucking notes, Megan.
So I have a few different things on here, of course, like took a page of notes. I really loved the line that our ghosts have strong hands and long memories.
Yes, that line's fucking awesome.
It was so good. I was like, okay.
It's a
All
little
right.
funny. It's a little, It's not even a little, it's threatening. It's
Yes.
funny, it's clever, it's just
You kill
I
us, we
read
will haunt your asses for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and we'll never leave you alone. We will haunt
Yeah.
you forever, bitch.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's a great line.
"Damn." So good. One thing I do really want to discuss was I knew Nemec was gonna die. I knew it.
Yeah.
Because shows, I will say, like, I don't know, give me like the perspective from a screenwriter. They always seem to kill the characters who have like an innocence to them, have a hope, a dream, because he had a manifesto he was gonna write. He had all these things and it was building up. I'm like, this dude's not gonna make it.
Here's a point of clarification for any audience member that is out there watching a show. If there is a character that is pretty generally well liked by audiences, and someone says to that character, "You're going to be fine. We're going to get through this. Don't worry." That character will be dead in the next hour. Guaranteed. It is foreshadowing to say, and I'm saying that because Cassian in this episode says to Nemec, "You'll be fine."
Don't worry. You'll be fine.
And I was like, he's fucking
done
dead.
for.
He's fucking dead. When I watched this show for the first time, I, like you, had that same thought of like, oh, this kid's not going to make it. He's just not going to make it. You know, the reason that writers do that is because Nemec is not the protagonist of this story. So he has no plot armor. We know Cassian does. No matter what had happened on Aldani, we know Cassian has to survive because Cassian has to make it to Rogue One. Basically, it sounds really shitty to say, but there are some characters whose only purpose in a story is to serve the protagonist. Nemec is one of those characters in that the purpose that he serves is changing Cassian for the better. And I actually have a note about that was talking about Skeen. Skeen and Cassian have this conversation towards the end right before Cassian kills him, where Skeen is like, "I knew what type of person you were the moment I saw you. They are mirrors." There are elements of Cassian in Skeen, and there are elements of Skeen in Cassian. Skeen is very selfish. You and I have been saying for episodes now that Cassian is a selfish character, which he is, and that's okay because we know that he's going to change, and we know that by the time he gets to his end character arc in Rogue One, he's no longer quite like that. The problem is that Skeen did not have a character like Nemec and like Luthen who changed him. So Cassian's two characters that he has the wise old mentor, which is Luthen, obviously, and then he's got this other plot device in Nemec of someone who challenges his ideals, someone who makes him feel guilt, someone who makes him feel remorse for the things that he's done. I mean, Nemec says to him in this episode, I think, like, "So you think everything is futile? Why are you here?" And because of Nemec challenging him, it changes him. The switch of Cassian happens in the meeting of Nemec. Nemec is that character for him. And a lot of the times in stories, that character has to die to set off that change. It happens a lot. Usually, it's female characters. Always happens. Sorry, women. But in this case, it was a young, idealistic man who had morals and views and values. Someone that Cassian kind of looked up to in a way of like, this kid cares for something. He stands for something, he cares about it, and he is willing to put his life on the line for what he believes in. And there was something about that Cassian respected above all else. And then Nemec died, and he was like, fuck. Now what?
I really liked Nemec. I also want to tie into that when we were talking about and how you mentioned Skeen and Cassian are mirrors. And whenever they were having that conversation, Cassian saw and probably it was how disgusted he was. And he was like, we're the same person, how he used to be. And then that's why he probably just set off that blaster and just killed him because he was kind of killing that version of himself in a way.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to view it. And I think it's also a parallel of what he does in the very first episode when he kills the guards on Morlana 1. And he meets these people who have the same ideals as him in the idea of like, if they were on the other end of this gun, I would already be dead. He sees a part of himself in Skeen. I think he feels bad for him in a way. And I guess in some different versions, like no matter how you look at this, there is a version in which what he did to Skeen was a mercy killing of like, I'm just going to put you out of your misery. You're a miserable son of a bitch. You live a horrible life. You have no friends, no family. You lie about everything. I'm just going to put you out because that's kind of maybe how Cassian sees himself. I didn't see it coming that Skeen was not trustworthy, but now on a rewatch, there are clues about it. I actually made a note about that there were clues. The first was when he attacked Cassian before all of the events even started, when he pulled out the Kyber crystal. And Cassian was basically like, if you don't want to do this because he didn't want to die, then don't use me as an excuse. Just tell them you don't want to do this. And he went along with it because he was pressured into it. The second time was when he let Terramin, the black gentleman that was working with them, he let him get shot. He said, cover me. And he shot once. He was very clearly afraid and then ducked back behind the wall because he's a coward. And then this third instance, because things happen in threes usually, this third instance is offering Cassian a way out because he knows Vel won't go for it. Cassian's his only shot. And at this point, he's read Cassian wrong in thinking that Cassian is exactly like him. And Cassian might have been when they first started this mission, but he is not anymore.
No, Nemec, our good angel boy. I am so depressed.
Yeah, you made a comment. You were like, I feel like something bad's going to happen to Nemec. And I was just like, yeah. Not only is it bad, he gets crushed to death by the money that they stole.
That's so horrible. And people might be like, "Oh, it's so poetic." No, shut your mouth.
I know there's some sort of symbolism by him being crushed by the very thing that they were stealing, him being crushed by a physical manifestation of the Empire. When his bones crunched, I physically recoil. Oh. It makes me want to throw up every time I hear the crunch of his bones. In the times that I had rewatched it, I muted the audio when Nemec died because I didn't want to hear it because it freaked me out. I don't like it.
Poor Nemec. He didn't deserve to go out that way. And then the fact that he wanted Cassian to have his manifesto because I think he knows how much potential Cassian does have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, I feel like that can help Cassian.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think Nemec actually wanted him to have the manifesto, or do you think Vel did? Because Nemec wasn't talking the last time we saw him.
That's true. That's a really interesting point, actually.
We don't see Nemec speak after he's on the table. Did Nemec actually want him to have it, or did Vel? I think it could be either for any purpose.
Break down both. Why do you think Nemec would want Cassian to have it, and why do you think Vel would want Cassian to have it?
I think if it was truly Nemec, if Nemec really did say, I'm dying, give this to Cassian, and then died, I think if that were the case, it is likely. Sorry, was that too much?
It was a.
If it was truly Nemec that wanted him to have it, I think it is because Nemec wanted to produce this manifesto. He wanted to put it out. And if I'm remembering correctly, one of the things that he talked about in his manifesto was that we have to fight back with everything that we have because they are not going to treat us with grace and with mercy, which, not to bring up Epic the musical again, but there is a song called Ruthlessness where they say ruthlessness is mercy upon the selves. I mentioned this in another episode, but it's very much that thing. To be ruthless is to be merciful to yourself to save you from further pain. It's kind of what Nemec is talking about a little bit, if I'm remembering his manifesto correctly, in that he was saying, if we have weapons, we need to use them. Like, if there is war, you need to fight. And I think Nemec would have hoped that by giving Cassian the manifesto, it would have given him the push that he needed to care. Now, for Vel, if Vel gave it to him, there's a few different ways I could see that playing out. I think there is something to be said of getting rid of as much evidence as possible. Here's this kid who just died who had this manifesto. She doesn't want it on her hands. Just give it to Cassian. There's another point to be said about how Nemec and Cassian clearly bonded over the few days that they were there and how they had conversations. Cassian clearly is very smart and he can do things, and Vel doesn't care really what happens to him after this as of right now. And maybe she's just like, maybe he can do something with this manifesto that I can't do. Her focus is locked in on this rebellion, on building the rebellion, and she doesn't have time to pen a bunch of manifestos and put them out so that people can read them. So she gives it to Cassian and is like, do something with it.
Well, also, by giving it to Cassian, she's kind of helping build the rebellion because, as we know, he joins.
Yes.
And so she could see this guy has potential. We need him.
My belief was always Vel. I think it was Vel. I don't think it was Nemec because I think Nemec was dead by that point. And I think Vel took the manifesto and said, don't forget what we did. This is what Nemec told you. This kid died to help you live. Now, don't let his memory be in vain. My camera just died. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
So, where were we?
Bitch, fuck if I know. Probably talking about Nemec. Oh, I remember. My belief was that Vel gave him the manifesto as a way to say, don't forget what happened here. Don't forget Nemec. Don't let his death be in vain.
I really want to talk about the importance of sound design. Sound design, honestly, is so important. Granted, I don't know a ton about sound. I will say that is the part of film that I probably had the least involvement in because camera department and sound department are always kind of like enemies on a set. And
Yeah.
yeah, get your boom out of the shot. I need it. And they're like, no, I need the sound.
I can't hear him.
So basically, it's so important, especially like in post, like music has such a powerful impact on a scene or anything. Cause you know, they could just be talking and everything, but it's not gonna feel as impactful. It's not gonna make you as emotional or anything like that. And the music is what really, really hits you. I mean, of course, on top of the phenomenal acting, of course, but it's just sound design is literally so important.
It is. And there was actually a really, really, really great moment with a good balance of what we call diegetic sound, which is sound that happens within a scene. So like for instance, the clicking of this pen is diegetic sound because you hear it in a scene. Non-diegetic sound is sound that is not happening in a scene, is not actually a part of the story. So, for instance, a great example is when a character has headphones on and they are listening to music and you hear the music and then it slowly fades out. That is a transition from non-diegetic, meaning the music is not actually happening in the world, to the transition of, oh, that's what this character is listening to. There was a really, really beautiful moment where they put out the fire pit, the campfire, and it was like a hiss and a sizzle, and it transitioned to the doors opening. I was like,
Yeah,
that was great.
there it
That
is.
was great.
See, that's what I mean. It's just like sound design. People are like, well, no, we can forget about it. Like, no, you cannot forget about sound.
No. Sound is one of the most important elements of a film.
If people try to argue with me, I will die on that hill. Although I have been, you know, at least every sound department I've worked with, we've gone along great. But, you know, they're kind of doomed to be like mortal enemies on a set. I will die on a hill for you, sound department. I will die on it.
Hey, if you work in composing, in audio production, audio engineering, we see you, we love you, we support you. There was one thing I noticed that I thought was interesting, which was when it's pretty early in the episode when Cassian and his group with like Nemec and Terriman and all them show up as the guards to begin escorting them. There is a moment where the other guards like look at them and they're like, who the fuck are you guys? And I love that that still plays in to what Cassian said of like, they're not going to say anything. They're not going to do anything because there's no way that this isn't who these people say they are, right? Of no one's going to get inside my house, which is the terminology Cassian used of like, they never think they would get, someone like me would get inside their house. And I love that that is still proving true for him of like, I put on a suit, I look, I walk, I talk like them, and they are none the wiser. Even though they know I don't know these guys. I've never seen them before. I don't know.
Yeah.
Must be right. Imagine if one of those guys had stepped up and been like, "Hey, who the fuck are you guys? We haven't seen you before. We've been out here for 6 months. We've never seen you guys." Imagine how much differently it would have gone, but no one did because there is a blind trust in the empire and a blind faith in the empire that Cassian is exploiting over and over and over again. It's so good.
I mean, I feel like it's a lot of like that in the entire Star Wars franchise.
Yes.
There's so much blindness in them and they just like, yeah, okay.
I mean, it's talking about blind ideology and blind faith in a government or power that is not serving you. It's very apt in some socio-political climates happening in the world. It's very apt and very depressing. George Lucas started talking about this shit 50 years ago and we're still talking about it.
Yep. Yes, we are.
Anyway, Yeah, that's most of my notes. I've got one big one left. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, actually. Is whenever Skeen was saying, "You're not here to save anybody but yourself." But I was saying, like, we can already see, we already kind of talked about his development and how, but right now he is turning, but he can kind of, I feel like he is still dipping in and out.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like he's still a little hesitant. I mean, that happens to any character. If you're changing, you're going to dip into like your old habits, your own thoughts, like everything. It's just something you got to develop. But I have seen that, especially throughout this episode.
Yeah. Change doesn't happen overnight. And it's also, I mean, even in Rogue One, Cassian does make selfish decisions at times. It's just usually they are for the greater good, even if they hurt other people. I think there's a moment, going back to that scene, because that is a great scene, where when Skeen does say, like, you and I are the same, we're of the same creed, like, we're the same type of person, Cassian has that moment of like, I don't want to be anything like you. And that is, I think, that final nail in the coffin of moving on from the person that he was to the person that he becomes, which is great.
If Skeen was not there, which of course he's there for the plot,
Mhm.
Cassian, I don't know if he would have fully did the full on change, even with Nemec being in there and kind of like in his ear, like all of these different things causing him to kind of change. I don't think he would have, like you said, had that nail in the coffin if it wasn't for Skeen.
Well, I mean, even still, there is this element of he's still fighting for himself because he
Yeah.
leaves Vel. He could have stayed with Vel and seen everything through and gone back to
Why do you think he did that?
That's a hard question. I mean, Cassian right now, this is the middle of the story. There are 12 episodes in this season. This is episode 6. He is all the way through. And that, you know what? Back to talking about the midpoint. Brought it up in episode 1, and I think I brought it up again in episode 3. The midpoint most of the time in a story is the moment where a character changes irrevocably and cannot go back to the old. So, we talked a lot about the inciting incident. We talked about crossing the threshold of a character crossing over from the known into the unknown. Harry Potter going to Diagon Alley. Cassian getting on the ship with Lucen. I said Lucen again. I keep saying Lucen because I'm getting Cassian and Luthen in my head and blending them. And then there's also a character from Critical Role named Lucian. Cassian getting on the ship with Luthen and going off into space. Nailed it that time. Cassian now knows he's involved in this scheme on Aldhani. He knows that he's done damage. He's killed a bunch of people now. He's killed several people at this point. Killed Skeen in cold blood. But also, the type of person he is can never be the same. This is his midpoint. General rule of thumb for audiences out there, if you are watching a 10-episode season, your midpoint is going to be episode 5 or 6, usually episode 6. If you are watching an 8-episode season, your midpoint is episode 5. That's where all the good shit happens. You're welcome.
The midpoints are probably, so I love inciting incidents and I love midpoints. I think those are my two favorite.
There are 4 key points that every story hits: an inciting incident, a midpoint, the dark night of the soul, and the climax, and a resolution. Usually there's a resolution. So we'll say 5. Most story circles, there is like the Dan Harmon story circle is like 8 points, 8 or 9 points, I think. The Joseph Campbell goes anywhere from like 12 to 17, depending on what version of it you look at. Every story features an inciting, a midpoint, a Dark Night of the Soul, climax, and resolution. Every single story faces it. So it makes sense that you would like them because they are quite literally some of the most important moments in an entire story, whether it's a novel, whether it's a series, whether it's a movie. Everything has it.
Of course, the climax is meant to be like the huge point in the story, but I don't know. There's just something about the inciting incident and the midpoints that are just.
It's fun. It's where the story changes.
And that's probably why I like it.
Yes. So.
Okay, what was your last point?
There was something that Nemec says, and he says it 3 times. And the first time I heard it, I almost burst into tears because I remember what it's from. When they are on the ship and they are flying through the eye, he tells Cassian to climb. Do you know what the significance of that is?
I want to give a shot in the dark
Go for it.
I guess my interpretation of climb is probably going to be like a long walk to a short point.
Me this whole episode, bro.
For me, whenever he says to climb, it's like to keep pushing, keep going. I know there can be like, of course, like resistance, and then just you don't think you can do it. Like keep pushing because you can be like a better version of yourself. and to like keep going and also keep fighting, especially kind of like in this battle and this resistance and everything like that. So that's my interpretation of it. So let me hear yours.
It is a direct callback to Rogue One.
Oh, that is really sad. I've only seen Rogue One once. I'm going to be
Oh,
completely honest with you.
I'm adding it to the docket now because that's my favorite fucking Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
It's fucking, first of all, it's gorgeous and it's fucking phenomenal. But when Jin, Cassian, and K2, when they land on Scarif, it's when they're trying to get the plans for the Death Star. They're looking for Project Stardust.
Okay. Climb. Climb.
So the theme of climb becomes this really, really powerful motif through Cassian's story. And we're gonna see it again in my favorite episode, One Way Out. It comes back around. But yeah, it is a motif that is heard throughout Cassian's life. I guarantee you will hear it in season 2, and I'll probably cry when we do. But yeah. So when Nemec tells him to climb, that was a really important moment because it really directly parallels Rogue One.
I need to refresh myself.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I'll add it to our list. You just tell me when you want to watch it. I'll be there. It's one of my favorite movies. It's great. All right, that is it for my notes, Meg. Anything else from you before we wrap up?
No, I think that's about it on my end. So I think we should maybe say see you soon.
See you soon, guys. You guys can check us out in our next episode for episode 7 of season 1 of Andor. Don't forget, we are doing season 2 as well. We'll have that out for you guys very soon. Our next project that we're doing is going to be The Legend of Vox Machina, which we're super excited about because I am a lifelong critter. Love it. But yeah, you guys can check us out in the next video. We'll see you guys then. Bye.
See you then. Bye.